What is going on? Charles Botensten here. Today we're going to be talking about is Friday, 5 p.m. I think everyone's workday should be done, or at least close to it. And obviously, I just wanted to go live. I heard something by Ed Millett. A guy actually just got turned on by, well, that came out wrong. Turned on to by Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone was talking about him because he's at the 10X seminar, or he was, and I bought that. Highly recommend that. I think it's only about maybe $150, but I can guarantee you that $150. And I say only because I look at the value, and Ed Millett said two things very interesting. Number one is it's always wealthy people look at the value. They don't actually look at the cost of things. They say, what is the value that this is giving to me? Because there's a couple of things that I look at and I understand that, and then there's other things that I don't, which is food. I always look at food and I say, well, this is gonna be less expensive, but really a bagel is $1. Okay, what is the long-term cost to your body? Number one. Number two is, yes, you're going to buy something that's $7 more or $8 more, which is, say, a salad over a burger or something like that. And I started thinking about it. I said, you know what? My weekend breakfasts need to be better. So I'm obviously going to be looking that up online. There is a place near me, but it's going to run me $10, and usually I only spend $4. So I shouldn't even be looking at the actual cost. I should be looking at the value of it. Number one, that's something that he brought up about aging, is that wealthy people, and he's, I think in his 40s, he's jacked out of his mind. He's making a ton of dough. But he said in there, he said number one is obviously the value. Number two is he said something even more interesting about aging, because obviously people said, oh, the wiser, the better, and things like that. Yeah, the wiser, the better, of course. That's the easy way. That's the easy way out. But this is what I can tell you right now is that the only way that he looks at aging, this is very intelligent, never heard this before. He said, I want my 44-year-old self to be better than my 43-year-old self, and my 45-year-old self to be better than my 44-year-old self. And when you really consider that, most people don't even look at it that way. They just say, I'm getting older. It's one more year closer to death, or it's one more year older, and they look at it as a bad thing. And Ed Millett completely changed my mindset, and he said, actually, this is a good thing, because if I am exactly the same person, that's a bad thing. But he says, there is no way that my 43-year-old self is as good as my 44-year-old self, and there's no way my 45-year-old self will be as good as my 44-year-old self. And I started thinking about that. So when we age, that is the only way that we have to look at it, is not we're getting older. Perfect example, I was downstairs, and this is the only time, I did not age well, when I was in my late 20s, because I was drinking way too much. I was eating like shit, and I looked really bad. And I remember thinking, I said, I'm not going to hit my goal of being a millionaire by 30. I remember thinking that literally 27, 28, 29, 30. And now I look at it, and I wasn't patient, number one. Number two, I wasn't looking at anything long-term. I was just thinking 30 years old. But then I wasn't even thinking, when I hit 30, what about 40 and 50 and 60? Yeah, I don't want to get there. But I also, what's up, Chris? I also don't want to know in the future what it's going to be like, because every single day, Gary talks about the clouds and the dirt. All right, I'll just go over that really quick. So the clouds are the macro picture. Okay, what's your legacy? What do you want to leave? What's your passion? And then the dirt is the day-to-day. It's the grinding, it's the calls, it's the appointments. I've gotten religious with my schedule this year. I think that's the number one thing. I made a video this morning, is that change one habit a month, and that's it. Something small. I'm going to be making my bed. I'm going to be going outside on a Saturday. I'm going to say hi to one person today. The smallest thing, okay? The reason being is that I would make a big effort, and then I went nowhere for 5 years, and I aged terribly. But I said, you know what? 2017, what are we in, 2018, 2017, I put out, I'm going to work on my health. And I can't even tell you the drastic changes, because my confidence went up, energy, my enthusiasm, and then I said, okay, I have that handle, and now it's a habit. 2018, it's business development, okay? That's gonna handle my finances and the wealth and paying down the company debt and all the things that I owe that's just hovering around me. It's not in my head all the time, but it's just hovering around me. I would just rather get that out of me. And Tony Robbins said something very interesting. I was at his UPW, which is the Unleash the Power Within, which I highly recommend. And he said something very interesting. He said, when you are financially free, there's a confidence that cannot be bought. When you are financially free, there is a confidence. You're not worried about the check. You're not worried about eating healthy. You're not worried about the plane flight. You're not about, because you're literally worried about time. Okay, it's going to cost more if I take off at this time and I land at this time. I would rather do that because I save time. There's no layovers. There's no red eyeing. Okay, so the three things that I could leave you with going into the weekend is, number one is work on one single thing this month. Okay, that's the accountability. For me, this month, it's business development. We're in March. Business development this month. Next month, it's maybe going to be my vlog. I know it's so random off topic. Can you do a video? Can you copy and paste, because it goes up and down? I can't. It went up in a way, Chris. And so number one is blah, blah, blah. Number two is, when you age, look at it as a good thing. Why? Because every single day you're getting a little bit better. And when you get a little bit better, you say, you know what? How old am I? 32. My 32-year-old self, I know it's random and all. Can you do on skincare? Number one thing, first of all, I only watch what I put on my skin, and I limit the amount of stuff I put on my skin. That's completely off topic. That's actually a really good point though. I limit the amount of stuff that I put on my skin and or my body, because then my body gets used to it. So in other words, if you put coffee into your body every single day, your body's going to get used to coffee, and you can't live without coffee. It's even like drinking or smoking. You can't live without it because your body craves it. It needs it. It's used to it. And it literally changes the ecosystem of your body around it. So I don't use Vaseline that much on my lips at all. I don't even, not even like this much, not even just like once every 3 or 4 days. What's up, Erwin? And the second thing is, you have to, first of all, body deodorant. Look at your body deodorant tonight, okay? The reason being is that 10% of most body deodorant has aluminum in it. Aluminum. It'll say it. It'll say aluminum, okay? So number one is the toothpaste you use, limit the amount of fluoride. Number two is the body deodorant that you put on, that's 10% is usually aluminum. Make sure that it's PBA whatever free, and obviously aluminum free as well. I don't know what I have. I actually have it with me. I can look at it right now. So this is what I use. Yeah, it says deodorant, and it says right here, no aluminum and whatever. No aluminum, parabens, contains Arm & Hammer, baking soda, natural plant, blah, blah, blah. But it says the ingredients right there. And then here, this is what I use for my toothpaste. I use an electronic toothpaste, but this is what I use for my toothpaste. It's obviously a little bit more expensive, but it says fluoride-free, gluten-free. I didn't even know gluten was in toothpaste. It's not like you're eating it, but gluten is the worst thing that you could do at any time. Trust me. Gluten cannot be broken down into the body naturally, okay? And then it gets released into your... I gotta pick up this YouTube channel that the guy talks about it. I'll have to tag it, but fluoride-free, 100%. So it's natural tea. It's obviously on Amazon. So... you have to watch what you put. The number one thing, okay, is sun protection. Okay, you have to, what I've learned exactly. Sun protection, the stuff that is in there, and it's either an urban legend or an urban myth or whatever, but they said the number one reason to the Great Barrier Reef breaking down is the amount of people bathing and their sunscreen rubs off and it kills the coral reef. That's crazy. If you're a woman and you're watching this, the amount of shit that's in makeup and you put it on every single day. Yeah, no, Chris said it before, which is what I've learned. If you go through his face wash, moisturizer, I don't use any moisturizer. You know what my moisturizer is? Right here. This is my fourth one, okay? I didn't use any moisturizer at all. I watch the amount of soap that I actually put on. So no moisturizer. Facial is just there's a very good natural soap. I don't have it with me, obviously, but I limit that. Honestly, there's two things that you should be looking at. Number one is when you sweat, how do you smell? And number two is when you pee, what does it smell like? That's your body releasing stuff. And if you start noticing things on your body that the outside of your skin is what is happening on the inside of your body, okay? There's a guy that has birthmarks all over. You know what birthmarks are? It's because the guy eats too much sugar. Okay, so your body is just releasing these toxins and toxins and toxins, and they create this shit all over your body. Literally everything is your gut. Okay, so I know this has nothing. Actually, it has everything to do with aging. I got a compliment today. The guy said, "Oh, what are you, 29?" And I'm not even old. So the way you actually think of aging is extremely important. Okay, there's another book that I just read. And it said the way that the telomere effect. Highly recommend. Telomere effect is one of the best books I've ever read. And I just read it, Telomere effect. And it talks about the way you think of aging is as important as as you actually aging. So if you think you're going to be living for a while, awesome. If you think you're going to die soon, then you're going to die soon. Like literally you just manifest everything. It's frighteningly crazy what this thing does. This little 8-pound vegetable in your brain, in your skull, in your brain. All right, so number one is the way you think of aging. Number two is breathing deeply and actually monitoring your health. Yeah, all those fatty acids make up 60% of the... Yeah, your brain is also made mainly of liquid and fat. So healthy fats are nuts, not meat, unless it's good meat. But just look up healthy fats. But honestly, this is what you should measure for your heart rate. You should look up two things when you're doing, people measure steps. Honestly, your resting heart rate, look up resting heart rates. If you have a resting heart rate, my average resting heart rate last month was 50. Okay, 50 is an athlete. That's amazing. That's what I want. Yes, exactly, Erwin, the telomere effect. Okay, so it's spelled that way, but it's called telomere with an I. So that, and then the amount of sleep you're getting. Okay, and if you cannot fall asleep, that means you're not working hard enough during the day, or your thoughts are going crazy. Okay, my thoughts are going crazy. That's why I meditate. Number one. Number two is when I track my sleep. I'm sleeping a lot because I bust my ass at the gym. I don't know if you saw my Equinox post today. And the second thing is I do at least 10,000 steps, 15,000 steps on average. So those are the ways to think about aging, is that you're getting better. Number two is that you're going to live forever, like Peter Diamandis has talked about and Ray Kurzweil has talked about. All these visionaries have talked about, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos have talked about, Bronson. There's crazy shit coming along. And then the third thing is obviously what you put on and in your body. Most important. So subscribe to the channel. What is your number one thing you're going to be doing? Mine is business development. That is the habit that I want to do. So just to clarify, sorry, the only thing that you put on your face is natural soap. That's it. Yeah. What else do you need? You don't need anything else. I used to do Proactive. I used to do soaps. I used to do a lip balm. Okay. By the way, chapstick. Do you know what chapstick contains? Chapstick has an additive that actually makes your lips more chapped, so then you get addicted to it. It's the same thing that's in lip gloss. That's why girls use lip gloss all the time. Like I've been talking all day. My lips maybe a little bit. It's but the best thing is honestly is water. Okay, and what I noticed is that when I have milk, I break out. So I eliminated milk, and that was it. If I eliminated milk when I was a teenager, I would have no acne. Okay, I also ate like shit, so it's not like that wasn't a big part. It was a big part. I put nothing on my body at all, okay? And it's very small. 3.5 liters per day. I assume that's a gallon. I don't know the math. This is, if you want to do the math, I think this is 32 or 32 ounces. So just know I do 4 of these, 42. 4 times that is 100 and whatever, 128 or whatever. I can't do the math right now. But yeah, this is 32 ounces. I've done at least 4 of these, and I have a kombucha and a salad. It's what you put on and in your body. And it's not overnight. It's just I'm telling you, it is not overnight. It's taken me years to get to this point, but there is a noticeable difference in my skin, my energy, and everything else. So have an awesome day. What is your number one thing? What is your accountability? We're going to be going live again on Monday, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the support and all the questions. Have an awesome day, Chris, Erwin, and whoever the third person is right now. Talk to you guys soon. Click off.